Hello, greetings and salutations, my friends. It's me, Dave. You might know me as Mr. Plus. You might know me as Mr. Dave. But for now, think of me as your grade 9 science teacher. And I am endeavoring to teach you all of grade 9 science under the Ontario curriculum. And I'm starting here with the classification of matter. So I hope you have a pencil and paper ready because we're going to be doing some learning. Are you ready? All right, classification of matter. I hope you like the whiteboard that I have created for you, custom. So, classification of matter. What are we going to talk about? Well, first of all, the thing you need to know is this. What is matter? Well, matter is anything that has mass or takes up space. So you could say, I am matter. Do I matter? Well, that's another video, I'd suppose, but I am made of matter, you are made of matter. Anything you can see and touch is made of matter. Is energy matter? Well, technically no, but also it's complicated. E equals mc squared. We might come back to that, but not for a while. So, classification of matter, anything that takes up mass or space. We can put it into a couple of categories, and in order to do that, we have to ask ourselves a question. The question is this. Are there parts? Can you separate the parts physically? Now, if the answer is yes, that there are parts to this matter you're looking at and you can separate them physically, you're looking at a mixture. If you are not looking at a mixture, looking at a pure substance. Let's remember that first question. Can you separate the parts physically? Now let's focus in on those mixtures. And we've got a second question we need to ask. Okay, you've got a mixture. I've got another question for you. Are the different parts visible? Now, if they are visible, you have what's called a heterogeneous mixture. And an example of that might be a delicious chocolate chip cookie where you can see the batter part and you can see the delicious chocolate part. And I don't even really want to go on with the rest of this video. I want to eat cookies, but we're going to struggle on through. Now, a homogenous mixture. It is the Kool-Aid. Now, have you drunk the Kool-Aid? I wonder if, well, that's a morbid thing to think about. We won't think about how Kool-Aid has been affected by that. Let's move on to the next thing. A pure substance. Now, just like we had a question for mixtures, we have a question for pure substances. Can the particles, see what I did there? Particles be separated chemically? So here's the thing. You're looking at a pure substance and you're thinking, that's just water. Or that's just gold. Can I separate these things? Well, the reality is that we're no longer talking about parts. We're talking about particles. We're talking about atoms and molecules and compounds. And this is really where grade 9 science begins with the chemistry unit. And if you have particles that can be separated chemically, then you have a compound, which is elements bonded together. An example might be water. H2O, the H, hydrogen atoms, 2 of them. Oxygen, 1 oxygen atom. Bonded together, it makes a molecule called water. Now, water is not an element. Sorry, Earth, Wind, and Fire, although you didn't have water in there. It's not an element. It's a compound. It's elements bonded together. Now, if the particles can't be separated chemically, then you have a pure substance that's an element. It can't be broken down any further. And it's something you might find on the periodic table of the elements. And that's where we're going to live in this grade 9 unit, is learning about compounds and elements and particles of matter. And it's going to be so much fun. But before we do that, you need to be able to tell yourself a story. What's the story you need to be able to tell yourself about? The story of the classification of matter. Now, learning is not a passive thing. Learning is an active thing. I hope you have that pencil and paper there ready. And I want you to freeze me right now for a split second. And I'd like you to copy down this little flow chart so you can remember this story and relate it to other people. And when you can tell this story to someone else, that means you've learned it. So don't worry, I'll pause right now. I was just messing with you. You need to pause. Write it all down. Go. Nice learning. Awesome. I will see you next time for lesson number 2. Have a wonderful day. Peace.